Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. Commander, all units are standing by in position. Very well. Major, please give the order. This is Takano. Make sure you capture R alive. I don't care if you kill the rest. Don't let them escape. Finish it right there. Nightingale, Skylark, Heron, start hunting. Phoenix will be the goalkeeper and will be the reserve. Be ready for anything. This is Phoenix 7, roger that. Let's begin. The mountain dogs started marching, spreading out in a line with a few meters between them. This mountainside was a savage land where not even the villagers would dare tread. There were some trails, but no paved roads for human beings. I know in the manga there is a scene where Satoko actually throws a bunch of firecrackers in Takano's face. I don't think that happens in this. It required an enormous amount of diligence and patience to hunt on a mountain like this. All the dogs were very nervous. They were told that most of their enemies were children, but there were a few well-trained adults with them as well. In addition, they were supposedly armed quite heavily, and they knew the layout of the terrain quite well. It was obviously going to be a tough battle. Okanoki, how many people do you usually need to search a mountain? It's hard to say, but I'm sure that the more people we have, the better the position we'll be in. But all the mountain dogs put together won't be even close to enough. But our enemies are just a small group of people. Don't you think we're at an advantage? I know this is a serious time, and this is serious stuff going on, but I'm just staring so hard at her tits. So, now that I've ruined any dramatic tension for anyone watching this, well, you know what people always say. It takes thrice the forces to break a defense. We have twice more than that on our side. Well, that theory works if we're talking about thousands of soldiers. It doesn't work in smaller scale battles. The U.S. Armed Forces proved that in the Vietnam War. Then, in this case, how great of a force do you think you need to search this Mountain Okanoki? Whatever works, I guess. I don't know what you mean by that, but what would be an appropriate military force? Considering what happened this morning, we have to conclude that their commander is extremely brilliant. They also have at least 2 weapon experts, and at least 1 close combat expert. Okay, I see that, but the rest are all kids, aren't they? That's what I'd think too, but we're in their territory. 1 kid who knows an area well can be equal to a finely trained patrol unit. They are more troublesome than you think, Major. Then tell me how great a force you'll need to actually suppress them. We'll need 1 division. Let me explain what I mean by that. 3 or 4 mountain dogs make a battalion, and 3 or 4 battalions make a regiment, and finally 3 or 4 regiments make a division. Are you saying we need 30 times as many people? Of course, that alone isn't enough. We need to get in touch with an artillery base and request an advance bombardment. If we could get help from the air, I'd want a Phantom to drop napalm bombs. You've got to be kidding me. We don't have that much force at our disposal. What do you think would happen if we tried to chase them down with our current manpower? Well, it won't be easy, that's for sure. Okanogi laughed boldly. He said it wouldn't be easy, but he also seemed to be implying that he was the only one capable of doing it. Although this is their territory, they just got there a little while ago. They don't have a base, and they didn't even have time to set up traps. I don't think they've had enough time to use their knowledge of the mountain to their advantage. As Takano listened to Okanogi's explanation, she felt a little anxious. When she pretended to be friendly with Satoko a long time ago, she used to tell Takano all about her mountain. Takano remembered how Satoko told her about all the kinds of traps she'd set up, but she couldn't recall which mountain Satoko was talking about. Skylark to base, we've located some of the targets. We can't see R. We're still searching. We can use them as hostages. Capture them even if R isn't there. Nightingale, did you hear that? Gather up the nearby units and block their escape route. Roger, we'll back you up. Well, of course. They'd want to cut off our escape route, wouldn't they? Some fallen trees were leaning against a much larger pine tree, forming a natural scaffold. A small hut made out of plywood had been built on top of them. It was one of Satoko's many secret bases. It was in a perfect spot, since Mion could see the foot of the mountain well. Wow! This went just as Mi-chan expected. Well then, we'll see what they've got, huh? Can we win? Can we? What are you talking about? Our enemy's commander is worthless. They need at least one division. But they're trying to attack us with just a single company? What are they thinking? We'll see just how many of them will be able to back down the mountain. Go back down the mountain in one piece today. Damn it! This is Skylark 2. We've been attacked. Shit, don't let them get away. They let loose tons of logs. Skylark 6 sprained his ankle, unable to pursue. We'll go on without him. Hehehe, don't let them escape. Keep chasing them until the end. Don't even give them a chance to rest. This is Skylark 11. We've encountered a trap. Skylark 12 and 13 probably have concussions. We would have been dead if we weren't lucky. Then this is Skylark 16. A trap got me. I'm tangled in steel wires, unable to escape. I can't cut them with my knife. Somebody bring me a wire cutter. Chaotic radio transmissions came in, one after another. Obviously, Okanogi had been wrong about the mountain dogs being in an advantageous position. Nightingale 10 to base. Those bastards disguised a pit trap with a well. 2 members fell in, unable to rescue them. We need help. Huh? Wah! Stop! What's the matter, Nightingale 10? Come in, Nightingale 10. This is Nightingale 10. I've been hit. I was pushed from behind. Nightingale 9 through 11 are in the well now. We're unharmed, but unable to escape. Shit. Base to Nightingale, your backup has been attacked. The enemy can see your movements. Watch out. This is Nightingale 1. I have a question. How can they see our movements? There's no UAV in the air or anything. Skylark 1 to base. We failed in our pursuit. We lost them. This is impossible. This mountainside is full of traps. We've already had a lot of injured men and only covered a short distance. Heron to HQ. We found R and some of her friends. We're going after them. We need assistance immediately. They split up, huh? Their plan is to confuse and entangle us with the traps. Heron, be careful. They're luring you into a trapped area. They're splitting up to divert us and are planning an ambush. This is an extremely advanced tactic. There have already been many injuries in the other units due to those traps and ambushes. Be careful. Be prepared for anything, Heron 1. Heron 1? Heron 1! Heron 2 to base. Heron 1 is trapped. Come on, somebody cut the rope. The rest of you, keep going. Don't let R escape. Nightingale 1 to base. Nightingale 7 and his team have gone silent. It's very possible they've been attacked. Allow us to send assistance. This is Heron 5. 3 of our unit members have been knocked out by falling drums. What the hell is this? Are there more of those ahead of us? This is Skylake 13. I was down. There's one of them now. I'll chase them down. Damn it. I'm going to get you. So stop. Stop! Skylark 13! You can't take them down by yourself! Oh ho 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 ho! Come out, wherever you are! Come on, this way! Damn, kid! Wait right there! Skylark 13 chased Satoko with an enraged snarl on his face, but Satoko ran through the woods effortlessly. Small branches scratched his body all over, but he continued to chase Satoko. Satoko ran like the wind. To her, she was simply running in her own backyard. Who would get injured in a place like that? As Skylake 13 ran after her, he passed many mountain dogs who couldn't even move because of Satoko's traps. The more of his trapped fellows he saw, the more he wasn't sure if the girl he was after was really a girl. She was just something that looked like one. He reached an area where the logs were stacked up in piles. It seemed like the trees in the area were being chopped down. It was a rather strange scene. On his way there, Skylake 13 saw a member from a different unit hanging upside down from a tree, and he also saw feet sticking out of a pitfall. There was a member whose foot was tied to the root of a tree with a device that looked like a pair of handcuffs. He reached the area after seeing all of them. He suddenly started sweating all over his body. For Skylake 13 realized that he had been lured into a trap. You know, the way this color changed? It reminds me of a transition in the intro cutscene of Robo Warrior, a game made by Jaleco, the Japanese leisure company, for the NES, the original Nintendo Entertainment System, in 1987. It's got a really great soundtrack, by the way. He had been caught in a snare. She had tricked him. The girl was standing in the middle of an open area, calmly balancing on a stump. She was simply looking at him. Shit, he thought, she's trying to lure me in. This is Skylake 13. I chased one of them to an open field. I'll catch her. I'll get her. This is Nightingale 7. I'm the one hanging behind you. That isn't a girl. That's a demon. If you chase her, you'll end up in hell. Base to Skylake 13. That's enough. Wait for assistance. Some nearby members are on their way. Oh ho 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 ho. Ho ho ho. What's the matter, huh? If you want to catch me, you need to step forward about 10 meters. It was only 10 meters. If he walked about 10 meters, he could catch that bratty little girl. How many steps did he have to take to walk 10 meters? If he took 10 steps to walk 10 meters, that meant there would be 10 more chances of stepping on a trap. But it was only 10 steps. He can catch her after taking just 10 steps. Well, if you really want to catch me, then why not take your first step? Come on. Shit. How was he going to take his first step? The area with weeds looked suspicious, but the bare ground looked suspicious too. What if he jumped onto a tree stump? No, that was what she wanted him to do. Cold sweat was dripping off of Skylake 13's body. He only needed to take 10 steps, so why was he so nervous about taking the first one? Skylake 13, from what I can see, the tree stumps look okay. You can jump on them. Don't, Skylake 13, this is Nightingale 8, the one tied to the tree root. The tree stumps must be traps. There are too many stumps there, and that's just too suspicious. Can you hear me, Skylake 13? Don't go into the bushes. It's dangerous. Don't step on the weeds. The open ground is dangerous too. Shit. Then where should I step? Do you want me to fly? What on earth are you doing? I'm growing bored waiting for you. Oh ho ho. This is Nightingale 9, the one who's tied up. My head is being patted by one of the targets. She says that it's a trap field. Supposedly. That girl's magnum opus is set up there. You should be extra careful. You've got to be kidding me. Did he say magnum opus? What does he mean by magnum opus? Grand finale? Masterpiece? Then what about all the other traps? Weren't they her magnum opus? We mountain dogs are professionals. We're paid to engage in battle. Yet this little girl is playing us like fools? Can we not beat her? Can we beat that brat? This must be a bluff. How is it possible for a trap to exist that's worse than what I've seen but so far? That's a bluff. That must be a bluff. Now I'm definitely going to get her. Should I start with my right foot or my left? The girl suddenly lifted her hand and thrust it at me. Is she trying to tell me to stop? 5 steps. What? If you can take 5 steps without stepping on a trap, you win. I see. You're confident, aren't you? If I take 5 steps safely, what are you going to do? Let's see. I'll admit my loss and surrender. How about that? My brain is as sharp as ever today. I'll get you before you take your 5th step. Stupid fucking kid. Calm down, Skylar 13. Don't let her provoke you. She's a demon. Don't let her appearance fool you. She can read your mind. We can't defeat her. Base to Skylar 13. Don't go any further. Farther. That's enough. Nightingale's almost there. Just stay in position. But that would mean I'd lose. 5 steps? 5 steps, you say? Damn it. I'm in then. 5 steps, right? Just 5 steps, right? How many times do you need to repeat it? A man should only say things once unless he's whispering words of love. Damn you, kid. Skylar 13, she's going to read your mind. Calm down. That's right, I'm Skylar 13. I'm cool-headed, just like Golgo. So I need to keep a level head and think. Right, she's already on to my thoughts. She can see how I'll think if I have to take 5 steps toward her. Whatever do you mean by that? This is what it means. I won't go forward. I'll take 5 steps backwards. I did it. I was certain it was a trick. If I take 5 steps, I win. She didn't say I had to move forward. I can go backward too. And that's why you're done with those 5 steps. So Skylar 13 down. That fool, he let her mess with him. Satoko's remarkable performance wasn't just her own effort alone. Mion had mastered the geography of the enemy's formations while instructing Satoko. Satoko marked all of her traps on the map. When the map and Mion's ability to command combined, the club was simply unbeatable. Rika and Hanyu, who knew about the mountain almost as well as Satoko, relayed orders from Mion to Keiichi and Rena. They then prepared for the ambush. The traps didn't always activate when they were stepped on. Sometimes Keiichi and the others were setting them off at the right moment. Keiichi and Rena continued to fight everywhere according to Mion's orders. Sometimes they'd hide, and sometimes they'd attack. One by one, they eliminated their enemies. Satoko's traps had been taking down most of the enemies, but Keiichi's surprise attack with his bat had worked out successfully too. Not even the well-trained mountain dogs could respond to attacks after being stunned by these traps. Humans need a little time to react. According to the research done by the U.S. Armed Forces, the average reaction time is 15 seconds. In other words, any soldier is powerless during the 15 seconds following a surprise attack. Shortening those 15 seconds is one of the goals of their training. But no matter how much they train, it would never become zero. Their radio communications had actually made things much worse for them. The more they heard about the damage done to the other units, the more they worried they got. That slowed them down and made them think less strategically. At that point, as far as Mion was concerned, the mountain dogs were no longer a force to be reckoned with. Keiichi was successful. He bundled them all up nicely together. Nippa! Ow, ow! Satoko did it too. She finished off all of them. Got it. Looks like we've got 5 more points with this one, huh? Heh. I do remember in Higurashi Rei, or was it Ho, where there was an alternate version of the story where Rena and Keiichi were going around with the bat and hatchet respectively, cutting down like 100 people in hand-to-hand combat, but that was a lot more bloodshed. So far, I don't think anyone's actually died this time around. Got it. Looks like we got... Okay, my lovelies, what are you going to do now? About 30% of your southern army has dropped out. At least 1 or 2 men have to respond to calls from injured soldiers, and what that means is hardly have anyone left. Any decent commander would order a retreat around now. This is Skylark 1. We have too many injured men in our unit. We don't have anyone to continue the pursuit. We have no other choice but to give up. Skylark 1, we might have been badly damaged, but we're definitely narrowing the enemy's range of action. You may not withdraw. Maintain the front with what you've got. Shit. Skylark 1 to all units. The commander is basically telling us to die. Check your supplies once more, and we'll resume the march. Takano-san is so mad that she won't allow it. The morale of the unit commander is down because his request to withdraw was denied, and they have to resume the march. Here's our chance. Rika-chan, meet up with Rena and lure them into Section Z. The traps there are something else. Han, you tell Kei-chan to move on to Section X. What a fun game. Ow, ow, ow. Mion's in perfect form. If she was born in a different era, her name would have been in the history books. If you ask me, Nelson and Togo are both mediocre. It's like I can see this mountain inside and out. Mion was the type to display exponential ability. When she's down, she's at rock bottom, but when she's in perfect form, it's just terrifying. That was the blood of the head of one of the 3 families in Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa. Again, do you guys say Hinamizawa or Hinamizawa? Hinamizawa? Hinamizawa. If Mion had been around for historical battle, she would have changed history. If she were to join Napoleon, Siberia would be French territory. If she were to join Hitler, Europe would belong to the Third Reich. And even with all that, the battle in the mountains was simply a diversion. Just as Mion had expected, everything had collapsed into chaos. If the mountain dogs could think calmly, they could have realized they hadn't seen any adults. But they didn't notice, confused as they were by all the attacks they were suffering. Of course, that too was part of Mion's plan. The scale of the diversion would hide the fact that there was a rescue unit going to get Tomataki. Therefore, the more chaotic the battle grew on the mountain, the better it was for the rescue unit. That was why she chose such an ostentatious method of fighting. But at the same time, that was exactly the kind of fight Mion that preferred. She didn't intend to let it be just a diversion. She was planning to destroy the dog's main force on these mountains. Yet most frightening of all was our home advantage. It wasn't exaggerating to say that the theory that defenders have thrice the advantage over assailants is heavily due to their advantage of location. In that case, how was the rescue unit doing? Were they at a disadvantage because they were on the offense? The 4 rescue unit members, led by Erie, were hiding in a bush next to the clinic. Let's go. The security camera on this side of the clinic is broken, so it's safe. You want to attack from this side? Are you sure? Our enemy is completely dependent on the security system, so it should be alright. Okay, let's go then. Should we head along the wall to the back of the director's office? Yes. I didn't close the window when I left, so it should still be open. When you go in through the window, there's a back door and a security camera, as well as a security room for the first floor. There should be 2 guards in there. The entrance to the basement is being observed by a security camera, so they'll find us right away. Okay, then we have to take those 2 guards down on the first floor, right? It's a basic rule to secure an escape route. We'll go in through the office and then to the security room on the first floor. They moved forward, walking against the wall so that they remained in the blind spot of the security cameras. They soon reached the window of the director's office. If any village kids saw them, they'd assume they were playing around pretending to be spies. Erie was glad that the clinic was closed on Sundays. Erie peeked into the room. It was exactly the same as how he left it. The window was open too. The 4 of them snuck into the room through that window. Akaska put his ear against the door to the hallway. Then he signaled the others to let them know that there was nobody on the other side. Since the clinic was closed, the mountain dogs were the only people around. It being Sunday really was fortunate. It was very quiet in the clinic. The chorus of the cicadas was the only thing that could be heard. Do you guys like the story of Higurashi? Higurashi When They Cry. Probably one of the best visual novels ever. There was a clock on the director's desk. It was almost 11:30 a.m. Shio was surprised to find herself getting hungry, given all that was going on. Kasai and Akasaka checked over their weapons. Erie brought out a book of blueprints from a locked bookcase. The title said Construction Plan for the Erie Clinic. This is the director's office. This is the security room for the first floor. It's right next to the office. These red marks are the security cameras. The security room on the first floor shouldn't be a problem at all. The basement will be a lot more difficult. This is the underground research section. This is the entrance to it here. It appears as a stairwell to the second floor of the blueprint we gave to the regular workers, but there's actually an entrance to the basement hidden there. And this is the staircase to the basement. That's quite the basement. It's actually bigger than the section above ground. That proves the basement contains the real identity of this clinic. And this is the door that requires the coach's security access card to open, huh? Is it possible for them to revoke your access card? Is there a way to break through the door just in case we can't use it? It's a strong door. When destroying all the evidence, we're supposed to shut the door and pump water into the place. So it's an airproof door, huh? If it can endure that much water pressure, it must be strong. So there must be no other way in other than using the access card. It's possible to block individual cards, but the access cards that Takano-san and I have are special ones for commissioned officers. These special cards require an 8-digit password set by the owner, so in practice they can't block my card. In other words, they don't expect commissioned officers to use them with ill intent, right? But if that doesn't work, we'll have the guards in the security room on the first floor open it. Their cards should work fine. I doubt they'll let us use their cards, though. If they don't want to help, all we need is a card and a finger, right? I'd rather not do that. Let's just hope my card works. Where's the security room for the basement? It's located right next to the door. That room has air conditioning and a TV, so basically it's where all the security guards end up gathering. After we take down 2 guards on the first floor, there should be 6 left. 6 guards, huh? Then we'll have to get them all at once. If we don't, they'll set off an alarm. Unless we can cut the wires for it, I am not sure where, but they must have both reserve power and reserve wiring. Then that's a no-go. It'd be more realistic to take out everyone in the security room. Are the guards armed? The guards on the first floor aren't armed, but I've heard that they keep guns in the security room just in case. All the security guards in the basement have guns, though. I think they have more powerful guns in their security room, too. Since those guns are for indoor use, I bet they use machine guns of a lower caliber. They won't be accurate when used at long range, but they're extremely powerful and dangerous when used in close quarters. They had an MP5 earlier. It won't be good for us if they have several more of those, but if we can take them out, the basement is ours. Coach, where's Satoshi-kun? I'd rather not move him, but we can't leave him in the enemy's hands either. Let's move him somewhere safe. I need to be with him too. Which room is Satoshi-kun in? He's in a confinement room down there. He's been staying there since last year. Satoshi-kun. The look in Shion's eyes made clear her determination. The security guards who chased after Eri were in the security room on the first floor. They had resumed their game of poker. They knew that the mountain dogs were combing the mountains, and they were all well aware that the Institute continued to be in danger. But their job was to stay in that room. And besides, they were working hard on their poker game. Of course, they weren't really concentrating on the game itself. They were still both chatting about the recent car chase, and both seemed proud about what they had done. They were ordered to shoot at the tires, but they wished they had been ordered to shoot at Eri himself. They definitely would have caught him then. They talked and laughed like that. When people stopped being on edge, that left them all the more vulnerable. This was a perfect example. That was why it took only 2 seconds to suppress them. Put your hands on your heads. The security guards were professionals. They immediately realized the guns Kasai, Akasaka, and Shion were holding weren't toys. They had already heard that there was a gunfight in the basement of the Sonozaki residence. The security guards knew they weren't dealing with amateurs. They also knew they wouldn't hesitate to fire. That was why they surrendered so quickly. They had handcuffs on them already, so it was easy for Kasai and the others to restrain them. The security guards had never thought they'd be wearing the cuffs themselves. They had especially never dreamed of being locked up in a toilet. Their hands were cuffed to the pipes behind them as they sat on the toilet seats. Their mouths were stuffed with hand towels, then covered with duct tape. Shion, clearly amused, remarked on how she always wanted to do this to someone. Kasai couldn't help but laugh. So far, so good. The real challenge is the basement. They'll see us on the security camera. Is the camera black and white? And is the screen divided into 4 sections? I think so. It's one of those typical screens for a security camera. That means its resolution isn't that great, huh? In that case, I have an idea. Shion-san, maybe they've already suffered enough. The mountain dogs weren't only locked in the bathroom, but had to go through extra humiliation. Radio calls continued to come in from the mountain dogs who were fighting up in the mountains. The security guards listened to them intently over the speakers. From what they could hear, it was obvious that the mountain dogs weren't doing well at all. They kept falling into the traps, suffering heavy losses, all of which they had never expected. It was clear that the mountain dogs were trapped, but they even started to think that they were being lured into something bigger than a simple military maneuver. The mountain dogs had made a mistake. They assumed the club members went to the mountains to escape from Hinamizawa, but they were wrong. They were simply being lured into the enemy's carefully prepared territory. The panicked voices of the mountain dogs, Takano's yelling, and Okanogi's reprimands could be heard through the speaker. It certainly sounded like a war zone. Zit, Phoenix 1 to Phoenix. Break time is over. We're moving in. We'll take over Heron's position. We've already suffered critical casualties on our side, but the enemy has steadily retreated, and we almost have them surrounded. We're almost there. We'll use Phoenix to overpower them. The Major will take command. I'm going in too. We'll finish them off. Hey, the Commander is going as well? Phoenix is going in too. It's an all-out attack. I can't believe this. Have most of our units been defeated? Who are we up against anyway? What kind of special unit are they? The security guards listening to the battle reports over the radio fluctuated between dismay and rejoicing. A cute chime rang suddenly. It was a warning chime that rang automatically when someone went through the entrance to the basement. When the chime rang, the guards were supposed to check the screen to see who was coming through. The one who looked at the screen needed a moment to comprehend what he was seeing. Heh. Hey. Okay. It's Director Erie. What? They could see the two security guards on the first floor restraining Erie and some girl. Oh. Akasaka and Kasai both got some new drip, huh? They're doing some cosplay? Got a fresh wardrobe? Some cool new clothes? I refuse to say the word swag. This is Director Erie, right? What's going on? I get it. The unit fighting against the mountain dogs are a diversion. Those two are here to rescue Tomataki. Call the Major and let her know that we have the Director. A buzzer sounded and a computer panel displayed information about the card being used to enter. Commissioned Officer Pass. ID 0001, Special Grade 1, Lieutenant Colonel Kyosuke Director Irie. Password match, fingerprint confirmation. Huh. Maybe we should be doing something, guys. Huh? How strange. The security guards brought Erie down. That made sense. But why were they using the Director's security access card? They were even using his fingerprint. Why were they having him do that? Wouldn't it be quicker for the guards to do that themselves? One of the guards figured it out, but it was too late. The door to the basement was open, and the four newcomers forced their way inside. They ran through the security camera screen and were headed straight for the security room. They had them. As soon as the door was open, the security guards started firing. Akasaka realized that if it had taken him a second longer to pull back, he would have been riddled with hundreds of bullets. One of the guards pushed the desk onto its side. The paper cups on the desk fell to the floor, spilling coffee everywhere. They used the desk as a barricade. The other two guards started to shoot at random. As long as the guards were shooting at the rescue unit, they couldn't counterattack. One of the guards activated the emergency alarm. Another one picked up the submachine gun off the wall. The other one picked up a gas mask. It was impressive that they got their act together so quickly. A situation like this would result in a fierce gun battle, meaning that it would take quite a while for the rescue team to suppress the guards. The emergency alarm sounded at the base, reminding them that their surprise attack had failed. Shit! We couldn't do it! But they're stuck in that room. While they're there, we can rescue Satoshi-kun and Tomataki-san. The mountain dogs outside would definitely hear that alarm. If they took too long, the enemy would come to block their escape route. Then, they'd be trapped inside. Right. I think there was something about dealing with intruders in the security system. Erie started to speak while he tried to recollect. Recollect? It doesn't sound right. Shion told him that he should have remembered something like that before they came in. Before Erie remembered, a voice came on over the speakers. Self-destruct activated. There has been an emergency in the entrance block. All areas of the research center will now shut down. As an emergency measure, all entrance area staff are to gather in the security room and put on gas masks. Well, that's foreboding. So you have a system that automatically powers everything off, locks all the doors, puts down barricades, and fills the place full of gas? Well, that's not good at all. Please follow the security guard's instructions. The gas will be disseminated automatically in the entrance area within 2 minutes. I repeat. So we'll have to take them down and cancel the alarm within 2 minutes, or we'll be in big trouble. What kind of gas are we talking about here? Maybe it's just laughing gas. Is it poisonous? I think it's diphenyl. Cyan or I don't know how to say that. But I'm seeing... But I'm assuming this is maybe some form of aerosolized arsenic or cyanide. Everyone's like, that's technically the same thing in a way, isn't it? Isn't arsenic and cyanide very similar? I don't remember. But offhand, I don't know what this is. If you inhale a lot of it, it's dangerous, but it's not deadly. It only takes a few seconds to take effect. There are many symptoms, but the most common one is sneeze for about 30 minutes. Isn't that also called red agent? The military used it to secure enemy territories. They either had to run out of there immediately, or they had to take over the security room, but since the area had been sealed off, they couldn't escape. But there were armed guards in the security room, and if the rescue unit's members even peeked out around the corner, they'd be shot at mercilessly. Damn, this won't work. We can't aim and shoot in this situation. The basics of indoor combat. Grenades, huh? Shit, we don't have any. If we rush in, we'll be shot at. What can we do? Satoshi-kun is finally within my reach. Damn it. Shion pressed her forehead against the ground, gritting her teeth in frustration. As Kasai analyzed the situation, he stood up and spoke. Everyone, let me handle this. The guards in the security room were on edge too. Once the gas was flowing, everything would come to an end, but the guards knew their enemy wouldn't just sit and wait for that to happen. They'd come rushing in regardless of the counterattack they'd face. Although the guards would still have the upper hand, it'd be a point-blank gunfight. They wouldn't come out of it unscathed. Therefore, as the deadline approached, their tension increased. The guards never even considered that the door they opened would be shut again. They fired at the door, leaving many small holes in it. After that, it all went quiet. What were they thinking? There was nowhere to hide. The gas was about to release. Why did they close the door? For what reason did they do that? That was when a loud explosion punched a hole in the door the size of a fist. Not only the door, but the wall in the security room had a similar hole. Is it a magnum? No, that's a slug. A calm voice echoed from the other side of the door. Correct. This weapon isn't meant to be fired at a person. You know how powerful it is, right? Shit. The power of a slug bullet is limited to extremely close-range battles, but it is also incredibly powerful. After all, it's fired from a shotgun, but it doesn't scatter. A shotgun is meant to fire scatter shots, but it can be used to fire only one huge, incredibly powerful bullet. That's the slug. It's usually used for hunting. It's used to shoot at animals, not humans. I mean, unless they're self-defense. I mean, honestly, pistols and rifles are pretty cheap for like short and long-term distance. But honestly, and of course, technically, a sniper rifle for long distance. But honestly, when it comes right down to it, is this: pistols and hunting rifles are best because they're cheaper. But if money's not a limitation, then your best choice for short combat, for like self-defense, is a shotgun. But if you want something where at least medium range, assault rifle. The only reason I don't own an assault rifle is because that stuff is expensive and I can't afford it. It's too expensive. And I'm poor. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I make just enough extra to be able to buy video games. And pizza. That's it. If it was to be used on a human, their arms and legs would be shattered, and nothing would be left of the head. It shouldn't even be called a bullet. It should be called a cannon. It would easily pierce through the door, the desk they were using as a barricade, and any guards hiding behind the desk before slamming into the wall. The guards understood very well just how powerful it was. The kind of guns they had shot up many small bullets, therefore they didn't work as well through a door. But their enemy didn't care about the door at all. Their weapon could easily pierce through anything. Hiding behind a desk didn't mean a thing. You understand how powerful my weapon is, correct? If you don't want to die, please turn the alarm off. Calm down. The gas will release any minute. We have to hang in there just for a few more seconds. Don't you realize your guts will be scattered all over the floor before that happens? Kasai's voice was extremely intimidating. Only one who truly understood the power of the shotgun could talk that way. We don't have time. I'll give you 5 seconds. If that alarm isn't turned off in 5 seconds, we'll be prepared for that. Well, be prepared for that. Hey, what do we do? There are about 60 seconds left before the gas is released. Calm down. He's nervous too. Don't let him take control of the situation. That was when a deep voice rang out, reverberating through the pit of their stomachs. Hey, I've been nice up until now, but didn't you hear what I just said? It must have been coming from the same person. But it had changed so much so quickly. I, Tatsuyoshi Kasai, am giving you the chance to live. Aren't you a bit grateful for that, you pieces of shit? You don't think I'm serious, do you? Do ya? Huh. Answer me! A roar and explosion sounded at the same time. The upper half of the door disappeared. Numerous lead balls bounced around in the room, breaking the lights and ricocheting off the walls. Shattered glass fell onto the floor. The shotgun had turned the security room into hell. The hurricane of lead balls blew violently through the room as it shattered, scattered, and destroyed everything. The guards could only cover their heads and pray. They prayed the lead balls wouldn't hit them, and endured the falling glass. Before they had a chance to recover, Kasai jumped in through what was left of the door and kicked the desk aside. He stepped onto one of the guards' heads and yelled at the others. All right, who wants to be minced first, huh? Is it you? What happened to that attitude just now, huh? No. I give up. Don't shoot. Don't waste my time, you shithead. Do you want to die? I've dealt with far more dead people than any of you. Sorry, please don't kill me. They dropped their guns voluntarily and got on the floor with their hands on their heads. Even Shion couldn't believe what just happened. There were several of them, and all had been amply armed. Kasai had a weapon too, but it was his presence that defeated them. Even the mountain dogs couldn't equal what Kasai once had to go through. What the heck are you taking a nap for? Do you want to inhale the gas? I can easily rip your masks off, you know. Turn the fucking alarm off already. Oh, okay, I'll turn it off. I will. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. One of the guards got up in a hurry and switched the alarm off. Kasai stood there calmly. But they were only seconds away from the gas. Releasing. Shion and Akasaka came to their senses and quickly moved to the room to help Kasai subdue the guards. Kasai, are you... Eep? I never wanted to do something like that again. But it was an emergency. Please, forget about it. That was the Kasai Shion knew, but in the end Kasai hadn't killed anyone. Shion remembered Kasai telling her how terrifying shotguns were in the basement of the Sonozaki residence. That was Shotgun Tatsu, whom all of the people in Shishibone were so afraid of. Let's hurry. The alarm has gone off already. We can't stay for long. You're right. Let's hurry. Akasaka and Kasai pulled out the guards' handcuffs and restrained them. Satoshi-kun, where is Satoshi-kun? Now that the security room was under their control, Shion realized there was nothing keeping her from seeing Satoshi. She was getting anxious. Eri had shown her the map. He must be down here, she thought. Shion had already started to run. I'm going to. We have to evacuate Satoshi-kun and Tomotaki-san. Alright, go ahead. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Akaska felt a chill running down his spine. Eri said there were 6 security guards. Shion wasn't paying attention to anything else. She was only thinking about her reunion with Satoshi, and she still can't hear in her left ear. To make things worse, the security guard is waiting on the left side of Shion. Shion had to regret letting her guard down just a bit too early. The mountain dog jumped out and grabbed Shion. He choked her neck with his thick arm. There was no way Shion could get out of this situation alone. Eri saw what had happened. Fortunately, their backs were turned toward him. Here was Eri's chance to attack the enemy. But today, Eri had lost a lot of confidence in himself. He felt he hadn't done anything right all day. Fighting wasn't his expertise, so there really wasn't anything he could have done. But he was disappointed in himself for not being able to help just the same. But in that moment, he was the only one who could do anything. If possible, he wanted to get Kasai or Akaska. They were both very reliable. They could take out this man in an instant. But there was no time for that. Only in this moment was his back facing Eri, and if Eri didn't do anything, the dog was sure to take Shion hostage, creating a deadlock. Enemy backup could arrive at any moment, so being at a deadlock would mean death. Therefore, Eri couldn't depend on anyone else. He had to resolve the situation himself. He only had one chance. Once the unit member turned around, the deadlock would begin. But was there even a way for Eri to knock him down in one shot? No, he had to. He must. There had to be something that only Eri could do. Eri took a mechanical pencil out of his pocket and stabbed the guy in the back of his neck, right in his carotid artery. It was probably the strongest weapon he had. Wah! Yeah? Ow! Damn it! Director! Ow! Eri stabbed the man's neck with his mechanical pencil, but it only scratched him a little? Okay. That was... I guess we rolled a 1. Fuck! What was he thinking? The man drew his gun, pressed it to Shion's head, and created a stalemate, just as Eri predicted. Sorry, I was only thinking about Satoshi-kun. Shion's eyes were filled with tears. Okay, Director, could you please tell your friends to get rid of their weapons? Going by that huge sound before, one of you has a pretty big gun. I don't want to get shot with that. Come on, Eri. Remember Kasai from earlier. You can do it! Don't make me laugh. Do you really think you can deal with me? Here, in this basement of the Eri Institute? What? Don't assume this is a regular mechanical pencil. This is actually a syringe that Takano-san developed. Do you want to know what was in it? Do I need to explain? What do we research here, after all? I am Dr. Eri, and I am Doctor Who up into this bitch. What? If a regular person had said that, it wouldn't have worked. But Eri was wearing his white coat, and the basement was his territory. What he just said sounded very believable. He wanted to believe that Eri was lying, but he started to feel an itch on the back of his neck. H178 is a drug Takano-san created. It's the masterpiece of the 170 series. There is no treatment, and symptoms such as confusion, delusion, headaches, runny nose, stuffy nose, constipation, and many other things will start within a few minutes, so in the end, you will scratch your butt so hard you'll bleed to death. The only cure is to take the antidote within 1 minute. That's a lie. 30 seconds have passed. It's going to go through your heart now, and soon it'll be everywhere in your body. Don't your lymph nodes itch yet? Do you snore or fart when you sleep? Shion could only watch this pathetic act in silence, but for the mountain dog who worked at such a shady research center, what Eerie said sounded totally believable. Shit! Okay, I give up. Hurry up and give me the shot! Is that the correct way to ask someone to do something for you? Tish, okay, I give up, sir. Please give me the shot. No, that's not good enough. That's not how you talk to your master. I'll tell you one more time. Are you ready? I have to inject you in the butt. Get on your hands and knees with your pants down. After that, I'll stick your butt up by putting your shoulders on the floor. Bite your right thumbnail and turn around. There you go. Shake your butt and beg me to give you the antidote. What? You can't do that? That's sad. Ever since ancient times, maids vowed complete loyalty to their masters. Their selfless devotion has created the virtues and culture we enjoy today. But look what is happening to that wonderful Japan nowadays. Youngsters have forgotten the spirit of maids, tanned their skins, started wearing loose socks, and flashy Hawaiian fashion. What happened to the Japanese women of the good old days? Be careful of excessive tanning, and take care of your skin to keep it. I can't read that fast. And take care of your skin to keep it smooth. Socks must be knee-high, of course, but garter belts are wonderful too. But once in a while, high socks are okay too. And cultivate the spirit of a maid. Come to think of it, Japan has forgotten all about its wabi-sabi aesthetic and maids, the low birth rate, and I can't read I can't read that fast. 2, every time all the words start shaking, I can't read it, it becomes all blurry, and I can't read it. Also, the most recent paragraph is not showing up. Come to think of it, Japan has... The middle-aged population continues to grow, and it's only a matter of time before Moe Media starts targeting that audience. Up until now, older women's series were treated as a niche in porn shops, but eventually they'll occupy a huge corner. Middle-aged women and maids are just like different kinds of toilet detergent. They're dangerous to mix. If you mix them together and then you get the housekeepers, not maids, the housekeepers will be a series of video people watch. That would mean the extinction of maids. When the time comes, the moon will shatter into a sad rain upon the world, and an asteroid belt will cover the earth. That is the judgment day prophesied in Revelations, when the great maid headbands made in heaven. Great maid headbands cover the entire world. The true king of maids will revive. Ha 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 ha. Are you okay, Shion-chan? Yes, thank you. Coach, Akasaka-san and Kasai are here. They got him. What? We made a pretty good distraction. Listen carefully, you stand before the king of maids. Kneel. Take back the stone from that kid. Here are the magic words. Lite Latoperita maid. Whoa! Okay. What? But I'm not finished teaching him about maids yet. You can continue later, Doctor. Satoshi-kun. There really was nobody left to stop her. Shion ran down the hallway at full speed. It was right there that she slipped and broke her neck. There was a huge window in front of Shion that allowed her to look inside. Shion threw herself at the window. Satoshi was there, lying on the bed. He was sleeping with an IV connected to his arm. There were some wires attaching to his forehead and chest to observe his brainwaves. The waves of the light displayed on the machine they connected to prove that he was at least still alive, but he might be sleeping very deeply. His face was pale, and he looked like there was barely any life left in him. He is alive, right? Satoshi-kun is alive, isn't he? He has been in a coma for like a year, though. Calm down. Dr. Erie, hurry. Erie brought in a stretcher to load Satoshi onto. Kasai opened it up. Hurry, put Satoshi-kun on it. Shion-san? Before we take him out of here, there is one thing I want you to promise me. Erie gave Shion a condition. What is he saying now? Shion angrily thought. I'm going to move him onto the stretcher, but don't try to wake him up. Do you understand? I want you to promise me. But why? Because he will become violent. And possibly even commit suicide. Why can't I wake him up? That was the first thing Shion wanted to do. She wanted to tell him personally that he was free, but Erie was telling her that she couldn't do that. I know it's hard. I'm going to tell you the truth quickly. Satoshi-kun suffered serious emotional damage on that day. Fortunately, he's alive, but he can't tell his friends from his enemies or truth from fiction. He is suffering from a serious delusion of persecution and fear. To escape from that, he would attack anyone. In fact, one of the clinic staff was seriously injured last year, so much that she had to go through facial reconstruction surgery. He would even attack you. Shion finally noticed it. While Satoshi was covered in a blanket on the bed, there were 2 belts over that blanket, holding him down on the bed, and that he also had leather straps around his arms. He was restrained to the bed. The belts had some marks on them. But is he ever going to get better? The silence that followed was cruel. Erie wanted to tell her that he would be cured, but he was a doctor. He knew that he shouldn't say anything irresponsible, and so that was why he couldn't say anything. What is it? What the heck is it? Are you saying Satoshi-kun will never say anything anymore? He will never rub my head ever again? Why? Why? Shion cried as she pounded on the glass. Stop. If you really care about him, please don't wake him up. That's what he wants too. If you wake him up, he will likely hurt you. He doesn't want you to see him like that either. So please, try to understand. Why? Crying noises. Shion slid down the window and hit the floor, crying uncontrollably. She scratched at the floor. The sad reunion and her anger made her claw at the tiles. If Satoshi's smile was there under the floor, Shion would scratch until all her nails were gone. But Satoshi wasn't under the floor. He was right there. He was sleeping on the bed, and he wasn't supposed to be woken up. But there is some good news too. It was a very small change, but his brainwaves have improved just a little in the past year. Human bodies are strong. The same can be said about their brains. There have been cases of people who received fatal injuries to their brain yet recovered completely. Satoshi-kun is trying very hard to come back. He's continuing to fight. I won't give up either. I'm doing my best to bring Satoshi-kun back to our side. And I will bring Satoshi-kun back to Hinamizawa. The brain is what moves people, but the brain is only a part of the body. If something happens to the brain, the person will end up changing. That change hurts the person himself as well as the people around him, and hurting others hurts that person even more. Erie recalled his parents. The abnormal change in his father, his mother was not able to understand that it was caused by a brain disorder. That was enough. That was sad enough. That was the reason why Erie became a neurologist. Right now, there was a young boy before him, and a young girl. Before him was a fragment of the sadness from that day, a fragment of that day's regret. After his father's death, Erie learned that he was misunderstood, and that it was due to a brain disorder. But it was all too late by then. He regretted not getting into the study of brains 5 years earlier, but it was too late. But now he had studied and experienced so much, he had achieved things, and he had confidence. But he still had regrets about that day. Eerie holds his fist tightly as he spoke without holding his tears. I promise. I bet my life on it. I will bring Satoshi-kun back to Hinamizawa. I promise you. Satoshi-kun is trying to come back. If we reach out to each other, it will happen. Shion-san, please trust me and wait. I promise you, I will bring him back to Hinamizawa. Yuri vowed this from the bottom of his heart, and he realized something. Yuri realized that everything he had done was in the preparation for this day. The two people in front of him weren't his parents, but he was going to rid himself of his regrets and devote himself to that promise. Really? Are you sure? Is Satoshi-kun coming back? Really? Crying noises. Wow. Yes, he is. I bet my life on it he is coming back to Hinamizawa, so Shion-san, please wait until that day, and we'll welcome him back together. Do you think you can wait until that day comes? Can you keep this a secret from Satoko-chan? Yes. If Satoshi-kun is coming back, I'll do anything. I'll endure anything. Please, look over there. Ah, there was something in the corner of that dark room. It was the giant teddy bear that Satoshi had bought that day. He worked so hard and saved a lot of money to buy that for Satoko-chan's birthday. Can you imagine Satoshi-kun leaving without giving it to Satoko-chan? No, you can't, can you? Satoshi-kun will come back to you, and Satoko-chan with that teddy bear. Please, just wait until that day comes. Hick, can I come visit him, though? Of course. Can I sit next to him? And read a book to him? Ooh, absolutely. I'm sure he'd like that, too. By then, we'll at least have an IV, making sure he's properly medicated and restrained so that he won't try to hurt you at that time, and gradually get back used to being people, and he'll improve in time. It takes time for new neural pathways to be established or repaired. Shion started to cry again. Akasa came in with Tomataki, but he couldn't say anything to her. I'm glad you're safe. Once you call the Bloodhounds, everything will be okay. Well, it won't be that easy. The gunfight earlier destroyed the radio equipment in the security room. The mountain dogs must have cut all the communications leading out of the village, so the only way to get in touch with Tokyo would be to leave. If that's the case, we'll have to break through in a car. Mion-san and the others are doing a great job gaining time for us, but they will be cornered eventually. We have to take Tomataki-san out of the village so we can call the Bloodhounds. We have a problem. If they've already cut the phone lines, they must have closed the road to town too. They're also supposed to carry one high-explosive anti-tank weapon in case a vehicle tries to break through. An RPG-7, huh? They aren't expecting a tank, so I guess they will be using high explosives. Even if they don't hit us directly, they might flip the car. They're not easy to deal with. But unless we use the highway, it would take too much time. We can't take any detours. They're all doing great, but I don't think they'll last until sunset. We have to hurry. We don't have any time to waste, huh? We gotta take Mr. Tomataki to Okonomiya immediately. Coach, head to a safe place with Satoshi-kun. Let's get out of here quickly. It's only a matter of time before they show up. Does no one else in this entire city have a radio system? Couldn't we just go straight to the festival and be like, Oryu, people are trying to kill Rika. They cut the phone lines to the town. We need to call a special group that's in Okonomiya that will come help us. Shion's eyes were swollen from crying, but she had calmed down. Satoshi's safety depended on their victory. They had to win for his sake, too. Although this is a very sad situation, Satoshi was alive, and he would be back someday. Shion understood that, but yet more tears poured from her eyes. Sis, everyone, thank you. We've succeeded over here. Takano didn't have enough stamina to walk around in the mountains. She was running out of breath, But even so, she continued to scream at the mountain dogs on the radio. Well, we'll call the video there. Later, guys. Bye.